D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? And welcome to my weekend review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this story, and you can read it, or you can, and just, make up your own mind, or you can just listen to this video because I kind of break them all down for you and everything, and then you go about your day. So, but before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine usually get pushed to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. And I also ask that you do this to any small YouTuber out there, because I'm pretty sure they would appreciate the same thing. Now, so why don't we get started on these stories? So for my first story, it looks like Kristen, Stewart, and Viggo Mortensen will be starring in a David Cronenberg film called Crimes of the Future. Now, you may know David Cronenberg from he directed movies such as Scanners, The Fly, and The Dead Zone. He also did The History of Violence and Eastern Promises, which also starred Viggo Mortensen. He also did Viggo Mortensen also starred in History of Violence and everything. So yay, they're teaming up again. I really like David Cronenberg. I think he's really like, if you watch any of his other stuff like Scanners and The Fly and all those, you watch his earlier stuff, you can just see his progression as a filmmaker and just how he's done different genres. If you watch The Fly or Scanners, it's a completely different movie than like History of Violence. And I think that horror, when it comes to David Cronenberg, I think that he has like this very like unique style of horror, because I think he adds a lot of like, I'm trying to think of the right words. Like he has like deeper stuff going on with his films that, what's the symbolism going on in this horror film. And I think that a lot of people don't see it. But they just see like the makeup and the goriness and like the sex and everything of his films. But I think that he really does have like this very unique and very like a very smart, way of going about writing his and directing his films. So what is this movie about? So Crimes of the Future is a story about it's, from what I understand, it's in the future. It's set in the distant future where humans have evolved beyond their natural state and into a metamorphosis, altering their biological makeup. In this setting, a performance artist named Saul Tenser, which will be played by Viggo Mortensen, embraces accelerated evolution syndrome, sprouting new and unexpected organs in his body. Removing those organs becomes a new kind of theater, one that earns a following, as well as the attention of the government. So the idea is, okay, for this movie, from what I understand, is that in the future, we start to grow, like evolve as human beings. And then we grow extra organs, like different organs. And people get the people that are going through this metamorphosis, they get them and they cut them open and they take out those specific organs, and people watch as it happens. And because it's so new, it's not against the law. So the government is trying to track all this kind of stuff, and they're trying to figure out, because it's like, kind of like trafficking, but for body parts. And so the government is following this whole thing because it's not a crime yet, but they're going to try to make it a crime. So that's why it's called Crimes of the Future. And like I said, I think this sounds very interesting. I'm very curious to see what Cronenberg does as far as the writing goes and directing. Like I said, I'm a fan of his. I think that I think he's a competent director. I think he's a good director. Me personally, with all of his movies, even though his movies in the past had been low budget, they've still been very good, in my opinion. I think that he knows how to use what he's got. And, and it's very low budget. Like, there's one movie, I can't remember what it's called, but there's like these slug creatures and they like just pull them across the floor with a string. And it's obviously cheap, but they probably didn't have a huge budget. But I personally, I don't know how you are, but I do not have to, I don't have to see I don't have to have big budget effects for a movie to be good. Like for me, it's all about the writing mostly. If the writing is good and top notch, I can look past everything and see a movie for what it's worth. And for me, a movie is all about the writing. So I think Cronenberg is going to do a good job. I don't know how I feel about Kristen Stewart. She's only got one mode, and it's Kristen Stewart mode, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I don't dislike her, so I think that she'll be. I do like Viggo Mortensen. I think he's a fantastic actor, so I'm happy to see him in this movie. I'm not unhappy to see Kristen Stewart. I just don't, whatever. So that's my first story of the week. So for my second story of the week, they have cast their Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, in the Green Lantern show. Now he will be cast who they've cast Finn Wittrock. Now, if you don't know who Finn Wittrock is, he is most recently known for being on Ratchet on Netflix. That's the prequel to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And then he's also in the latest seasons and past seasons or whatever of American Horror Story. And now me personally, I don't know how you feel about it. I personally don't like American Horror Story, but as far as Wittrock, I hope I'm saying his name correctly. I think he's a good actor. I don't mind him. I mean, he's like my favorite actor, but I think he does a good job and everything. Now, this will be on HBO Max, and it's a show. They have two other Green Lanterns. I can't remember their name. Diaz and Baz, I think their last names are. I can't remember off the top of my head. They haven't cast those two members yet, or unless they have and they haven't released it yet. They didn't as of filming this video. So who is Guy Gardner? Now, Guy Gardner is a Green Lantern. I believe he's the fourth iteration, if we don't count the very first one, but the fourth generation. Anyways, so he's from Baltimore. He's the son of an alcoholic. He becomes a member of the Green Lantern Corps, and he's kind of like this kind of like cocky, kind of like I can do it all kind of Green Lantern. I know some people don't like him because he's kind of a douche, but I personally like him. I like his like kind of attitude and everything. I think he's pretty funny. Yeah, and I mean like he has, I mean like I don't know. Yeah, he's fine. One of the best iterations of him was on the Green Lantern animation show. I really liked his character there. So I hope that they play more off that character, kind of the cocky, kind of everything I do is right kind of thing, kind of guy. And yeah, and I do hope that they make him a redhead in this. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't just cast a redhead, but he better have red hair. That's like and he's got like this he's got like this bowl haircut in like his original iteration of it. I hope they do the bowl haircut. I hope they do the bowl haircut. That'll be so good. So good. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes on, because I know that, Greg Berlanti is a part of his production company, and he's a part of that whole thing. And then Jeff Johns is a part of it. I know that he's been very problematic as of late, just due to like the Snyder Cut and that whole situation. And so I'm very interested to see how this show goes down. It's been a while since they've been since this was announced and going on, and like I'm just curious to see how this show happens and how it'll work all out and everything. So that is my second story of the day. So for my third and final story of the day, it's kind of sad. It looks like Noah Centineo is no longer going to be playing He-Man. Now, it's been 2 years since it was announced that Noah Centineo would be playing He-Man, or Prince Eric. Eric, I think that is who it is. But or Prince Adam. It's Adam. It's Adam. Prince Adam. Don't get mad at me. But it's been 2 years, so I kind of understand. But representatives of his told Collider that he is no longer attached to the project. Now, if you don't know who He-Man is, it's Prince Adam, and he is the Prince of Eternia. And Eternia is a kingdom that is attacked by the bad guy Skeletor and his minions. He's got lots of them. And they're just basically trying to take over Eternia, and they're trying to get into Castle Graveskull, which is protected by the Enchantress. And then she recruits Prince Adam to become He-Man, the master of the universe. And he's just basically like this big hulking guy with a sword, and he's like super strong and everything. And he's like kind of like mad. It's magical and everything. But yeah, I do like it. So what is Masters of the Universe? And now Masters of the Universe is based on a popular animated series and toy line from the 1980s, running from 1983 to 1985. And the original animated series followed Prince Adam, an heir to the Eternia throne, who possessed the power sword, a weapon that allowed him to transform into the most powerful person in the universe, He-Man. This series spawned a 1987 live-action movie starring Duff Lundgren and Frank Angla. I think that's how you say his name. Anyways, watch that movie. It is fantastic. I don't care how bad it is. Skeletor monologues 90% of the movie. Not 90% of the movie, but he monologues so much, like these Shakespearean monologues, and it's great. It's so great. And then there's this one bad guy that they created for the movie. I think they named him Krog. He is the best character on that movie. He is so good. I love that character. It's Krog. Yeah, I think it's Krog. It's so good. I love that movie so much. I'm gonna go watch that movie now after I've said that. So, I mean, it's sad news that Noah Centineo. I mean, if you don't know who Noah Centineo is, he was in All the Boys I Loved Before. And then he's also been, he was in the latest Charlie's Angels movie, which wasn't that great, but whatever. And then he is going to be in the new Black Adam movie as Atom Smasher. So yeah, it's a bummer that he's not involved with it anymore, but I understand. It's been 2 years. He needs to move, he's got to work on his career. And if you're not going to, and this project has had writers, plural, and a lot of people have tried to tackle this movie and tried to, adapt this movie for the big screen or small screen. I don't know. I think this is going to Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. So, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to adapt something, and sometimes you just can't do it, or you need to wait a little bit longer till you get fresh eyes on the whole situation. So that is my third and final story of the week. So tell me, what do you guys think about these 3 stories? How do you feel about Kristen Stewart and Viggo Mortensen starring in David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future? How do you feel about that whole thing? Do you like David Cronenberg? Do you like his movies? Do you like his style of filming? All that good stuff. Do you think this movie will be good? Do you think that the premise of the movie sounds interesting? I think it does. It sounds really interesting. I'll watch it because it's David Cronenberg. Like I said before, I think he's really good, and I do like watching his movies, even though his special effects are so gross. I have like the weakest constitution. So when I watch a movie, if there's pus and blood involved, I'm a very squeam. I'm like, ugh, and everything. I can't do. And his movies are full of that. Like, it's just crazy. How do you guys feel about Finn Wittrock being Guy Gardner in the new Green Lantern show? Do you think the show is progressing too slowly? I think it is. I think they need to get their butts in gear. But it's Warner Brothers. They're so late to every party, and they're like that friend. They're like 2 hours late to the party, and you're all like, hey, And I think Finn Wittrock. I think he's a decent choice. I mean, I don't think that he's a bad actor, so I'm happy about that. And I do want to see a Green Lantern show. I think that it'll be interesting to see it. It'll just be, yeah, that's all I have to say. I wish there was more stuff to comment on this story, but they haven't even told us like what the whole premise is about. So, and or who the bad guy is. So it'll be interesting on that. And then on the last story, how do you guys feel about Noah Centineo leaving He-Man, not being Prince Adam / He-Man, Master of the Universe? I mean, are you guys bummed about that? Do you think this movie will ever get made? I mean, or will it just be stuck in production hell forever? Yeah, go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next Sunday on my week in review. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my week in review.